If you've ever had a lucid dream or a dream where you remembered exactly what happened, kind of like if you lived a second life while you were sleeping and you remember so many vivid details, it feels like you spent an entire day doing a bunch of different things, then in that case, this video is the exact one for you. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my own experiences with dreaming and how it reveals who you truly are and your inner drive and what you're facing right now and everything like that. So for a bit of context, let me just turn the light on so it looks better. All right, that should be a little bit better. So for a bit of context, I came up with this, topic idea for this video when I was analyzing what was happening to me whenever I was dreaming every single day. Like, it was getting more and more and more vivid, and I remembered so many more details than I did previously. And so it was kind of starting to weird me out because in a way it made sense, but at the same time it didn't. Like, it was a lot of different things combined with each other that were part of my memory. So it felt a little bit strange and a little bit like super like real, but at the same time not really. So I came to this conclusion by breaking down and like basically what I would do is I would wake up, I would remember exactly what happened in the dream, and I would write everything down in a notes app on my phone. It's like every single small detail that I would remember, I would break it down and I would write it down on my phone. And then I went to ChatGPT and asked it like, oh, what do you think about this? And it told me a bunch of nonsense. And then I did the same experiment with a few other AIs, and then I went to Grok, which is the AI for X. And I got a really interesting answer. I broke down what I did on a day-to-day basis in my life, like what it looks like, what I'm doing, what are my habits, what does my life look like at the moment, what are my goals, what are my aspirations, all that sort of stuff. And I gave it the notes I wrote down for the dream that I had, and it told me that it makes perfect sense that I'm having dreams that are happening in this certain way, because every single thing that's happening in the dream is completely attached, completely linked to what I'm doing on a day-to-day basis. I'm building my own business, so every single thing that I'm like gonna be dreaming about is gonna be related to building and control and power and dominating others and conquest and that sort of stuff. Another thing is I'm getting stronger in the gym every day, so I'm basically just building myself physically, so I feel physically strong in the dream. And like, I have many dreams where I actually, it's not a question of indulgence, but it's a question of like, I feel like I'm struggling. I feel like I am fighting off a bunch of enemies at the same time. And most of the time I'm winning, but at the same time, the odds feel so greater compared to me in terms of number. It feels like the opponents I'm facing are much more numerous than I am, that it feels a bit overwhelming from time to time. Like, there's so many things to look at, so many problems to solve, so many people to talk to, so many opportunities, that my brain is just like, you know what, it feels like a lot, so we need to vent the frustration in the dreamscape. And so it makes perfect sense if you're having these kinds of dreams. Maybe they're like super vivid or whatever, and you might be having the same dreams over and over and over again. I personally found that my personal type of dream that I keep going back to is a dream where I am overpowering my enemies. Now, these enemies are like shapes and like silhouettes and like different types of people, but they never have a face. They never have a lot of details about them. They're always super blurry and vague and whatever. And I'm just, I guess, the best analogy I could give is like if you know the game Doom, with the Doom Slayer in it. I basically just rip and tear through people and through my enemies and my problems in the dreamscape, which is quite interesting because like I guess I'm a high testosterone man, so maybe that has an impact on it as well. I'm not really sure. Like I could be wrong. I'm really not an expert in like dreaming and whatever, but I've noticed that every single time I dream, and this might be the same thing for you, is that it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Like, it's like two things at the same time that contradict each other. It's like, I feel like it makes sense that I should be possibly able to do this or do these things, but at the same time, I know physically, scientifically, I can't. And it's this sort of weird in-between state that I find myself in, where it's like I'm building something, it's costing me a lot of energy and time, and I'm only seeing like a very small amount of results back over a long period of time, and I need to put in more time and effort if I actually want to obtain the results. Like I need to be more persistent, I need to be more determined, I need to be more obsessed with what I'm doing so that I can increase and improve the amount of results I'm achieving like on a day-to-day basis. And so at the end of the day, you need to think for yourself, okay, if I'm having these dreams, are they a net negative or are they a net positive, or are they just a way for my brain to vent out the, I guess, frustration, or maybe they're a way for my brain to secure the thoughts and like make sure that I'm actually, I guess, I remember one person was talking about this. He was talking about the fact that whenever you're sleeping in your deep sleep, your mind, your brain is saving data of what happened throughout the day. And so that might be my way of my brain saving data and like storing things and being like, okay, we've fought off a bunch of opponents today, so now we can focus on this tomorrow. And maybe it's the same thing for you guys. So I'm just curious if some of you guys kind of come to the same conclusion or not. Or what kind of dream, I'm curious what kind of dreams do you guys have? Like in terms of like, do you go to sleep, do you have a dream and then you wake up and you remember exactly what happened, or do you kind of remember but not really sure, or do you actually lucid dream? Like can you actually move and do things, and can you actually control yourself in the dream? Like I've never actually, I don't know if I've actually controlled myself in the dream. It's always been watching myself do things in the dream, so I wasn't really sure if it was me doing them or if it was just impulse behavior, or if it was somebody else controlling my body and I was just watching. Like it all feels very similar when you actually look at it into perspective. But yeah, so I'm curious what you guys have been dreaming about, like all that sort of stuff. Like what has been going on, like what do you think about dreams, what do you think about like how does it work, all that sort of stuff. And from my perspective, I think dreams are a reflection of exactly where you are in life, what's been happening, what are the things that trouble you the most, what are the biggest problems that you are facing, what is the type of life you are leading, what is everything else that you are doing in your day-to-day life is being transitioned into your dream, and that fuels what's happening in there. Now, I have no clue if the dreamscape is actually a real place. I don't know. Like, for me, dreaming is just some place I go whenever I go to sleep, right? So, and I remember like every single night, most of the time, if I'm not fucked up, usually I dream. Like maybe like I'd say 5 or 6 times out of 7 throughout the week, I dream and I remember exactly what happened. So, yeah. So I'm kind of curious, number one, what are you guys dreaming about? What does that look like for you? Like, what do you feel about it? What do you think about it? What does that look like? And second thing that I wanted to talk about is, what are your dreams, your aspirations, your goals? Have you already thought about them? Does the kind of life that you're leading look like somebody on his way to achieving something he wants? A lot of people talk about a lot of different things, but at the end of the day, you either are working on your own dreams, your own goals, your own objectives, or you're working on somebody else's. So you have to choose. I made a video on this topic, the power of choice, the power of decision, that you either make a choice and work to achieve your dream, or somebody else is going to make that choice for you. It's either one of two things that are going to happen. One or the other, can't be both at the same time. And if you don't think that you want to dream, if you don't want to dream, if you want somebody else to dream for you, then in that case, you need to make the choice of choosing the right person, the right guy to support. Because if not, somebody else is going to do it for you. Like I said, somebody's going to force you into a job, somebody's going to force you into a career, somebody's going to force you into doing things for them that you don't necessarily want to do or have chosen to do. And you just need to do it because you need the money, which is not a good position to be in. So at the end of the day, I want you guys to think, okay, what is my dream? What is my ultimate goal? What is the lifestyle that I want to live? What is the kind of person I want to become? What are the relationships that I want in that kind of life? And then picture that for yourself, and then think, how do I get there? How do I create a path, a strategy, a plan to get there? Faster, better, more efficiently, whatever it may be. When you're going up a mountain, usually what you do is you look at the path in front of you, or you look at the map. And sometimes it's a good thing that you're just taking steps, like moving forward, just fucking marching on. But from time to time, you need to look at the map and understand where you are right now. Is this a good position to be in, or is this a shit position to be in? And in that case, how can you strategically change positions in order to get a better position out of where you are, in order to help you achieve that goal of reaching the top of the mountain? This is what I've been doing over the past 4 years. At some point, I was doing this every single week. Every single week, I would sit down and for maybe 20 minutes to 30 minutes, I would just analyze everything that I've done throughout this past week. And I would have been like, okay, I did this, I did that, I did this, but did I actually get closer to actually achieving my dream? Did I take 100 steps forward, or did I take 60 steps forward? Or did I take 3? Did I do the most important things, or did I do the things that kind of matter but are really not gonna move the needle forward? That's what you need to think about, because the stuff that is going to move you forward the most is the stuff you should be focusing on. I personally own my own business. I also run this YouTube channel, but at the same time, what I've been doing basically is just thinking, okay, how can I restructure my schedule in order to focus more on those tasks that are going to move the needle further, that are going to help me achieve and get closer to the top of the mountain faster? Where in that case, what I found was, okay, well, throughout the week, I don't work a job, so I have full freedom of my time. So I get to choose when I eat, when I sleep, when I do things, what I do. So what I did is I thought, okay, well, I need to talk to business owners so that I can sit down with them, have a chat, and see if I can help them, if they would be a good client to work with. Because I help business owners scale their business, grow their business, make more money. I look at everything that's going on in their business, and then I give them the most educated, best guess that I have based on the research I've done, in order to get more clients or get better clients or make more money out of their current setup on their business. So in that case, what I ended up doing is I was like, okay, Well, businesses, most of them are actually closed on weekend. So what I'll do is I'm doing a lot of content and I'm doing a lot of outreach to businesses. So in that case, what I'll do is I'll do as much content as I can on the weekend, and then throughout the day, throughout the day-to-day actions of the week, like Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, I'll sit down with businesses and talk to them and do more outreach. That way, from morning to late in the day, I'll just do outreach for like from Monday to Friday, and maybe on Wednesday I'll take some time to actually look at the map, what I've just told you. Every Wednesday, around halfway through the week, I'll just be like, okay, has the actions I've done so far been positive, or have it a bigger impact or not? And in that case, what do I need to do in order to improve? Okay, boom, 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 come up with a few things, take action on Thursday and Friday, and then on Saturday and Sunday, I'll do all the content for the week, so that way I have 7 posts ready to post, like one every single day, not only for the YouTube channel, but also for the Instagram and the LinkedIn that I'm managing for my own business online, I guess you could say. And then fix anything that I need to. If I have some client work, I'll usually do it in the morning, whenever I need to do, or the evening. And then what I'll do is, just fix all my assets on the weekend, make sure I update everything on the weekend, do all the content on the weekend, so that way on the weekend everything's scheduled out, everything's ready to attack the next week. That's what I've found has worked best for me, because I have control over my time. Now, if you work a job or you go to school, this might be a little bit different for you, but you can still do things in order to improve your way of looking at the different areas in your life, the different actions you're taking, and how can you do better? How can you do more efficiently? How can you do it faster? This is very important if you actually want to achieve your dream. I met my business partner when he was 14 years old. I was 19 at the time, roughly 19 or 20. And I met him around that time, and ever since then we kept talking and we kept bouncing ideas off each other and working together and all that sort of stuff. And it taught me a valuable lesson that you can actually meet really good people by doing this simple exercise of, okay, how can I put myself in an environment that's better, that helps me achieve my goals faster, that helps me achieve my goals more efficiently and better and faster than everybody else. And you'll put yourself in rooms, you'll meet people, you'll talk to people, you'll take action, you'll build things, you'll create things, and a couple months later, you'll be like, holy shit, I've done so many things. Damn. And then you just have to keep going. You need to keep the consistency. Whenever you start succeeding, don't do what I did at the start. At the very start, I landed a few clients, but I wasn't getting paid, and I took my foot off the gas and stopped outreaching to businesses as to focus on the clients I was working with right then and there. And sure, that gave me a lot of lessons, but at the same time, for over a year and a half, I wasn't getting paid. Not good. In hindsight, not good. But it taught me a lot of valuable lessons, so I don't regret it. I learned a lot from it. So that's the most important part. Learn how to be better, learn how to do better, and learn how to do it faster is always going to set you apart from everybody else. And by connecting that to a dream goal or an aspiration or a lifestyle that you actually want to achieve, then in that case, it makes it that much easier for you to be like, yep, need to do this to get there. So that's what I wanted to talk about with you guys today. So if you're dreaming, or if you have interesting dreams, feel free to share them in the comments. I would be interested to see what you guys have to share. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them as well. And with that said, I appreciate every single one of you guys watching until the end of the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and as per usual, it's time to get back to work. Beautiful day today. So have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. See ya.